plug out or lost a wire or something. Most likely I fouled a plug on the way out. Ran good on the way out here. You get ready to leave and it just, you never know what's going to happen when you're on the water. And being down a cylinder on the river is not good. So I'm moving about as fast as you can troll with the trolling motor. It'll take me a couple hours to get back to the ramp. I'm a long ways out. But this is what happens when you fish. I'll spend the rest of the day working on the motor, I guess. Alright guys, these are the plugs that I pulled out of my boat. You can tell the one on the left is wet, like it has not been firing. It doesn't look bad, but it's clearly not burning because it's coated in, you know, gas and oil. Where this one you can see is clean and dry, and it's been actually firing. So I assume this was off the top cylinder. This is the one that's bad. So I'm going to see if that plug is the thing that's wrong with it, and I'm going to assume that's probably a safe bet. We'll see tomorrow when I get on the water. Alright guys, went to Advanced Auto Parts, got some more spark plugs. Let's put them in, see how this goes. Alright, spark plugs are in. Just gonna snug them up. Ready to go. Awesome. Let's see if that doesn't fix the problem. We'll see when we get on the water in the morning. Alright guys, do yourself a favor. If you're going to swap out your spark plugs, swap out both of them. Or if you have 4 of them, do all 4 of them. And then put a spare in your boat with a spark plug wrench where you can get to it. Alright guys, well, as you just saw in that clip, my motor is not fixed. I went with the most logical explanation, which was, or the easiest solution would be to replace the plug. I did replace the plug. It did not fix the problem. I've got another problem I've got to sort it out. So I'm going to go through here and just start looking at parts until I figure out something that looks off. If not, I'm going to have to troubleshoot and just try stuff. So let me just show you how I'm going to do this. Alright guys, I am not a mechanic, so what I'm basically doing is going through looking for something that's obvious. I am looking over all of the wiring. I'm running my fingers down it, seeing if there's any bad spots, seeing if there's any like melted wires where it may have burned or had a short in it and caused it to melt the outer coating. I'm going to check the electrical connections, see if there's anything obvious in there, and I did not see anything. I didn't see anything wrong with any of the wiring until I got ready to pull off one of the spark plug wires. And as you'll see, when I pulled it off, the entire boot came right off the wire. And so there's a little spring in there that's supposed to have a 90-degree angle that punctures that wire, that holds it in there and gives it its connectivity. And that had obviously separated. So I was fortunate enough to find the problem relatively quickly. And so you can see that spring right there did not have the bend. It had broken off at some point, so now it's time to order parts. Alright guys, my package just got here. my new coils. Let's see if these suckers will work. All right guys, this is a replacement coil. This is 40 bucks. I bought 2 of them, but I'm gonna open this one up just to show you how they come and what's in it. That's it. All right, so you've got your basic coil pack. You got a ground wire that goes back here. You got your connection wire. These are actually really short. And then now you've got your spark plug wire and your spring. So this is the spring I was talking about on the other one. You see how this one comes with a 90-degree angle? This is what I was referring to. That was the part that was broken off of the one that I'm replacing. Now, could I have fixed the other one? Probably. I tried it and took it out and it did not fix it, but that, I know that's what the problem was. So I probably just I didn't get a very good connection because my bend was not quite that long. The bend that I put in the spring was not quite as long as that because I didn't have much to work with. But if you'll notice in here, let me see if I can't get a light to shine down in there to make that a little easier. So you see in that hole, there's a little threaded pin, right? And so what that pin has to do is it has to make contact with the center of that wire, right? The white and the black is just the outside coating and the insulation. And then that little pin has to go in there. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna feed this wire in there. You're gonna manually force it in there and spin it. And it should thread its way in. All right, that's it. So what would have been ideal for me would be to have marked this with like some kind of white paint so I could see how far in I actually went, but I felt it go in a pretty good ways and then kind of stop. So I'm pretty safe there, I believe. So you've got that. Now let's talk about how to put this spring on here. Ultimately, it's gonna sit like this, but this has to puncture that coil. But before I do that, I'm gonna expose a little bit of this wire. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but I don't think that it can hurt, and it's just gonna give a better connection. So that's all I did. I just took a basic box cutter, cut that off to where the wire's exposed. All right guys, so now I need to fix this where I smash this through the wire just like that. And when you do this, it's imperative that you get it dead center and you go straight through the middle and you don't kind of clamp it to the side or it's not gonna hit the wire in the middle. So I got it started a little bit with my hand, and I'm just gonna take these pliers and squeeze it on there. And then you'll see my wires are sticking out. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with those. All right guys, that's all I was able to do. I didn't expose much of the wire, but you can kind of see what I did. I basically just wanted to have a little bit of extra wire to have contact with that spring. Okay, and that's it. That's ready to go. I just got to put the boot on. You'll notice your boot has got a bigger hole on one end than the other. You're going to go in the tiny end, but you're going to keep this loop in line with that. So you're going to go in here and you're just going to force feed it. It's going to fit tight, so it's going to feel like it's not supposed to go, but it goes. And you'll feel like right here there's a little reduction in the tube where it holds it in place, and it's got to pop through it. You'll feel it kind of pop. Boop, there it goes. And then you should be able to, you can't see it on here, but if you look in here with a light, you'll be able to see the spring is right in line with the hole. And that's it, it's ready to go. That's all it was, took about 2 seconds. You can see here's my old one. This is a dinosaur. This is probably the original one that came on the motor in 1950 whatever. This was actually the one that was working. But because it was so old and I was already replacing one, I'm just going to replace both. This is the one that I was just replacing. I did try and repair the wire myself, but after thinking about it, I go out on the Mississippi River a lot, and it's not worth the risk for a $40 part. I don't want to risk getting stranded, so I'm just going to replace both. So I've got 2 of these. I'm going to go put them on. I'll show you what it looks like. And here's the part number, just in case you were wondering. And this actually came from Walmart.com, by the way. This is a Walmart Marine part. It's ProMarineUSA.com, whatever, but this, I ordered this from Walmart. If you'll just do a Google search for your outboard motor and a coil pack, it'll pull them up. Alright guys, now this is the finished product. To put this on and take it off, it's literally just these 3 bolts. This one goes through the bottom one only. This one goes through both brackets. You will see that there's this extra wire on here. I'm assuming this is just a ground wire. You just shove that in between the bracket and the motor itself just to ground it to the motor. Connect your electrical connections back together. You can swap these and do these backwards, so pay attention. And then put your spark plug wires on and you're good to go. Done and done. Alright guys, so I brought my boat down here to Mud Island to fish today, and I wanted to make sure my motor was running after I changed out those coils. So it's running. Sounds a lot better. Let's see what it does when I put it in the gear. Put some tension on it. I believe she's fixed. Easy peasy for a really old outboard.